Hi everybody, it's attorney Brooke Goff, live from our West Hartford office. Today we're covering workers' compensation, teachers, COVID. We're in a weird time, right? Super weird time in that teachers are going back to school and kids are going back to school, and they haven't since March, since this pandemic started. So by going back, I mean physically going back in, not that people have not been working. I'm sure teachers who have been trying all summer to create these plans so you can best have success for yourself and your students. But there's a lot of teachers, rightfully so, concerned about COVID-19. And they're concerned about going back to school. What if I get it? What benefits are available for me? What do I do? You know, liability, this, that, and the other thing. So I want to take some time to shoot a video just for this. And for you all that may have comp cases, this is also, most of this pertains to you as well with your case. Firstly, there was a bill passed in Connecticut by Governor Lamont, I believe it was in July of this year, and it created a presumption for essential workers. However, it only covered workers between dates in March through May 20th. So why there has not been a new bill drafted or an extension of that bill to cover the teachers that are going back in well, some of you went back yesterday, some are going back Tuesday. I don't know, but they need to get working on it, and they need to get working on it fast. Because look, you're an essential worker. As a teacher, you should not have to prove that you got COVID at school if in fact you're in a situation where COVID is heightened, right? So a school, we're all, well, I say presuming, I guess is the good word, that we're gonna have a problem. Flu season's gonna be lining up with COVID. The symptoms are very similar. It's gonna be a mess. So there currently is no presumption for teachers, okay? That's right, no presumption for teachers. Basically, you have to prove your case, guys, okay? Now, I found the bill to be very, and I've been outspoken about this publicly, but I found the bill to be lacking in a lot of areas. One being, hey, if this essential worker gets COVID and they're an essential worker, a teacher would fall into that, obviously, then guess what? We're gonna presume they got it at work. But the defendant can file something if they feel they didn't get it at work, and they just have to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that that's what happened, that they didn't get it at work. Guys, newsflash to the administration, that's how it works now anyways, okay? In most cases, people will get injured at work. You have to prove you're injured at work, and the defense has always, 99% of the time, files a form called a 43 denying your claim, saying it did not arise out of the course of your employment, okay? That is a problem, okay? And that's gonna be a problem for our teachers. There needs to be a better bill. And as the teachers union, guys, look, the teachers unions are fighting for school to be all virtual. You've lost the fight, right? The kids are back, okay? They're going back, they're back. What you need to focus on fighting is the protections for the teachers in school. I feel like every time I turn on the television or I look into, I read a newspaper article, what I see are how we're gonna protect our kids, which is great, guys. I'm a mom too, okay? But I don't see how we're gonna protect our teachers. All the decisions are being made around how we're protecting our kids, not how we're protecting our teachers. Problem, okay? So most of you are watching this, and this is not news for you. So firstly, you should know, if you get COVID-19 at work, you need to file a comp claim, okay? Now, you're gonna file a form called the 30C. Firstly, I'm gonna tell you, you're going to need a lawyer, because this is uncharted waters, guys, all right? So just get a lawyer. Look, a good lawyer is going to have you, regardless if they contest your claim, which I can guarantee you they probably will, is not going to take a fee on those contested benefits, right? They'll only get paid at the end of the case. And quite honestly, our teachers, our healthcare workers, our essential workers, they're a little public service from a law firm, and where there's no guaranteed result at the end, it's necessary. People have to stop thinking of their own pockets and start thinking about the people that are out there helping our youth, helping making sure we eat, making sure that we're treated for medical conditions, the whole thing, right? These are our essential workers. So there needs to be protections in place, all right? Attorneys, these cases aren't sexy. They're not, guys, they're not. I mean, We're doing a lot of them, but not a lot of firms are because they're not sexy. That's why you're not seeing a lot of these kinds of informational videos. Whenever there's no money in something, you'll find attorneys are quiet. I'm not quiet. I'm here. Look, I know that there's no guarantee I'll be paid at the end of the case, and I don't care. I think every attorney should have this attitude and provide the public service. But guys, you have to understand that you need the right lawyer, because you don't want a lawyer that doesn't do this or that's kind of doing this for an experiment. You don't want to be the guinea pig. You want to be a part of the other cases that the attorney's handling, right? To try to move along this legislation and try to, fix the bills that are in place, but also protect yourselves. All right, so as a teacher, let's say you get COVID-19 and you feel it's up from work. What do? You have to file a 30C. First, you're gonna hire an attorney and the attorney's gonna do it. But let's just say some teachers won't listen to me. Let's say you file it on your own. Alyssa, I'm gonna reach it that in a second. What do? Right? So if you decide not to get a lawyer and you wanna do it on your own, you're gonna file a 30C. Get that baby in the mail. Download it from the workers' comp website, COVID-19 exposure, there's a little box. Get that out the door, okay? That has to be sent certified to your employer and to workers' compensation, and you get to pick your jurisdiction. So I know some teachers, guys, teaching jobs were not easy to come by for a lot of people. So some people live in Bridgeport, but maybe they teach up in Hartford, right? So file it with the location where you live. Because if there's ever a hearing and you need to attend, you don't want to be going all the way to Hartford to attend a hearing, and let's say schools go virtual again. Now you're like going to Hartford for no reason, right? File it where you live. Any good attorney's going to tell you that. They're going to do it. Let me talk to you guys though, you're going to get. So within usually 28 days, you're going to get a Form 43. We are denying that this occurred in the course of this teacher's employment. That is a nightmare. And I say teacher, I mean anybody, guys. Administrative staff, educational, paraprofessionals, everybody, okay? You're going to be like, you've got to be kidding me. I was in a school. We know that kids had COVID in my school, and they're denying my claim. Yeah, they're denying your claim, and they're going to deny your claim, guys, because there's nobody that says they can't. So why is an insurance company going to be gratuitous? They're never gratuitous, okay? So so I've taken you through that step. Hopefully, like most people, you get past it and you recover. Okay, and you're okay. But we don't know what's going to come down the pipe 2 years from now. If you don't file that claim, then you're going to lose your right to file it later. And that's a problem. Okay, that's a huge problem, guys. Okay, you're going to lose the right to file it later. File it immediately. Let them deny it immediately and go from there. Going to Alyssa's point. Alyssa's been commenting here. What do I recommend you do? I recommend before you start school, you take a COVID test. You, as a teacher, paraprofessional, educator, administrator, you take a COVID test. And then, I know this is going to seem crazy, guys. You need to get a COVID test every week. Why? Well, number one, guys, the rules about COVID. So there's rules right now in the healthcare profession that you can't successfully bring a claim related to COVID against a medical facility or a healthcare worker. So you're screwed if you are the victim of negligence and COVID-19 has played any role. You likely won't have a lawsuit where normally you would. Which, shame on the administration. They need to change that. You're giving these nursing homes and these healthcare facilities and these healthcare workers, not so much the workers. The workers don't really have a lot to do with it, but the facilities, the reason to cut corners, a reason to not diligently treat people. Look what happened with the nursing home, guys. And why would they? Why would they spend money to do all these things when they don't have to? They don't. You're protecting negligence. Who does that? Only in the U.S., I suppose. But it needs to stop. Vermont needs to change it. Connecticut, it needs to go away. They should have to come to the table and prove why their actions in the medical medical situation were warranted. Okay, but you can't just prevent people from being able to bring claims. But so that protects the healthcare workers, guys, and that protects the hospital, and that protects the facilities. But what about teachers? Teachers, guys, aren't protected under that rule. So if a teacher comes into school, finds out they have COVID, because you carry this thing around for 2 to 3 weeks, right? Some people 2 to 3 weeks, no symptoms. We find out teacher A got COVID, and now student B has COVID, and student B is very ill, let's say has permanent condition. They might try to sue the school and the teacher. And guys, the administration has not, the legislator has not gotten there yet. So why you're sending kids back to school before you've actually put the protection in place to protect teachers and to protect the administration as a whole, I don't know, but they did, right? They are. So they've had months to figure this out. Why we are constantly living in, backtracking, living in the past. Why are we not planning for our futures? Why are we not planning what are we going to put into place legally to protect these people, A, B, C, D, and E? They don't. They're going to wait until there's a problem, and then they're going to do it. It's a problem. So teachers, protect yourselves. This is a twofold. You need to get a COVID test before you start school. You should get them every week. Insurance covers for most people. You need to get the test. Why? Because in workers' comp, now you have to prove your case, right? They're not going to just presume you got it at school. You got to prove your case. So what happens now? What happens? So if you have these tests and you come in my office, you said, Brooke, you've been back since September. You come in my office in November. Brooke, I have COVID. Hopefully after you've had COVID, or we're on the phone with one another. I have COVID, and I say to you, okay. I say, well, do you know were there any students in your class? Can we pinpoint the time, the date? And you say, no, but I watched your segment at September 1st, and I took COVID tests weekly. So I have negative COVID tests for a period of 11, 12 weeks before I was actually, before I have a positive, and I was not symptomatic. Fantastic. Okay, now we're going to be able to narrow this down. Okay, so Jane Doe or John Doe got, that would be my potential client, had a COVID test October 31st, I'm making up dates, was negative. Now November 7th, it's positive. We can narrow this down, guys, right? What did you do during those dates? Nothing. I went and I taught, and that was it. And okay, fine. So we can really, and it makes your case so much stronger. We don't have to worry about the problems, guys, okay? So doesn't mean there's not going to be issues or denials, but this makes your case so much stronger. Please do yourself a favor and listen to what I'm telling you. Another thing, make your Facebook profiles private. You got that? Share this with everybody you know. Make your Facebook, Insta, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever private. I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people share memories. I do it. Memories. So let's say a year ago you were at a wedding with 150 people. I mean, we were, most of us, at weddings with 150 people. It's September, for God's sakes. But, and you share that incorrectly and it shares as a post, you're giving ammunition to the insurance companies. And trust me, the first stop on the wagon that they make is they look at your social media. They actually have companies that add you as friends and they get full reign to your social media stuff. So listen to me when I tell you, make them private. Make your profiles private. You do not need, in November, you bring me all these COVID tests and we have to tell you, I am so sorry to tell you this, ma'am, but look, they say they have something. I look at the Facebook thing, I send you the picture of you at the wedding, you're, I don't know, catching the bouquet or whatever, and you're gonna say it was a year ago, Brooke. Well, you posted it as if it wasn't. You posted it as if it's a new post. That's going to delay your benefits by weeks, guys. Weeks. And when you're a teacher, you guys are the best budgeters I know, because you did the summer stuff. So you pretty much budget your whole year. And unfortunately, in this expensive state we live in, teachers are still buying their supplies for school, which I'll never understand. So the point is, teachers can't afford to go without pay for 4 to 6 weeks if they're out with COVID. So listen to me when I tell you. Facebook profile is private, okay? So people don't need to be seeing your posts. It's private. And you should have it anyways because you don't want students, finding out about you and everything else. You got to keep that persona. And you need to get COVID tests. Those are my biggest things for you. If you do that, it'll be a game changer if you come in my office in November, okay? Protect yourselves. Be smart, guys, right? Make the reports to the schools. If a child is exhibiting some kind of a symptom, report it and then note it down. You got to be careful of where you go. Don't just go out in the public and treat life as normal. You got to be careful because if you get exposed and bring it into the school and we find out you were exposed and brought it into the school, you potentially, it would be argued it'd be reckless behavior. You could potentially be named in a lawsuit, guys, all right? The government has got to protect you guys as teachers. I don't blame you for picketing. I don't blame you for protesting. I don't blame you all for speaking out. I think it's terrible. It's horrendous. But keep doing it. But you guys, I got to tell you, from what I'm seeing, you're focusing, okay, we're back to school. There's time to stop focusing on no more in school. Guys, they've already made we're back to school. Focus on the protections they can now give you. I was in Wells, Maine at my sister-in-law's house, and she was telling us that, in Wells, which is much smaller than here, pays little to no taxes, unlike most of us in Connecticut. And she was telling us that they have these I forget what she called it. It's basically these tunnels that the kids walk through. It's just like it's like almost like in the airports, the little x-ray machines, but it's not, it's another name. It takes the temperatures. You walk in, it takes the temperatures. Great. They had defoggers put into the ceilings of each of the classrooms. Every night they run the defoggers. They have all the desks outfitted with the plexiglass. I mean, why in a state where we are so expensive? Where are the regulations, guys? Where's the government saying, you want to return back to school? Great. They've had months to implement this. Where is it? Again, protecting the kids, not protecting the teachers. Now, again, I'm a mom. I want my kid protected too. But guys, the protection for your kids starts with protecting your teachers, right? Special teachers are going to be moving from classroom to classroom. They could potentially be around 200 kids in a period of 3 days. How is that specials teacher who potentially gets COVID at work, let's say, going to prove which kid they got it from? You know what they're going to do? They're going to say, well, I may not know the exact kid. We'll look into that, but I have COVID tests proving it. It didn't happen at this date. It happened at potentially this date. That's going to take you so far. Protect yourselves, guys, because the government's not protecting you. Okay? So teachers, protect yourselves. Parents, our kids are not going to be protected until our teachers are protected, okay? We all need to make a push to protect these people. The government needs to spend money and protect all of you, because if they don't, our kids are going to suffer. And, you know, it's a weird world we're living in, guys, and it's 2020, I get it, but I would have expected you had summer to plan this out. As a government that's been asking the federal government to take the lead for so long, the state of Connecticut really has done a poor job because a lot of parents are scared to death to send their kids back to school. We are only going to feel safe when our teachers feel safe. That's the way it is. If our teachers don't feel safe, then how are us as parents going to feel safe, right? So again, teachers, you do have workers' comp coverage for COVID-19. You got to file a 30C. I'm telling you, just throw it all down and hire a lawyer. That's gonna do it more than anything. Get a lawyer involved. They'll navigate this, because guys, there is no right way to do it because this is uncharted territory. We are making the way. We've been doing COVID cases here since March, so we're making the way to do it, but it's not like I have 5 years of cases to look at. So hire a lawyer, because if lawyers are having an issue with these cases, you're gonna have an issue with these cases, okay? So 30C certified to workers' comp, and your employer needs to be sent immediately, needs to be signed, like I said, and certified to the district where you live. And you're gonna be met with a 43, guys. You're gonna be met with a 43, which is a denial of claim. Don't panic, but if you didn't hire me to file your 30C, you're gonna hire me to defend the 43. Question, can we say anything about this supervisor's threatened legal action, safety requests are ignored? They're gonna tell you, I mean, you can, but they're gonna tell you that they're following the state mandates. It's not your supervisors. It's not West Hartford, Manchester, Hartford. These aren't the people, guys, that are responsible here. It's your state legislatures. They're the ones that decide who does what and how it happens. You can't be laissez-faire over school and protection of kids and teachers. You have to be involved. You have to be on it. You write a letter to your legislatures. I mean, that's all you can do. But I can tell you the teachers' unions have been very vocal, and they're really not listening to these people. And I'm telling you, if I'm a teacher and I get COVID-19, watch out. Actually, watch out if a teacher gets COVID-19 and hires me, because it's going to be a nightmare for everybody involved, because this is absolutely ridiculous. And as parents, there's a lot of parents who are going to be very upset if their child gets COVID-19 from being in school, and that's a whole nother ball of wax that needs to be worked out. So again, teachers, COVID test weekly. Get a COVID test before you go in. That's my recommendation. And number 2, make your Facebook profile, your Twitter handle, your Insta, your whatever, private. You do not want the insurance companies to troll these things. The minute you file that claim, the insurance company's gonna be trolling. Where has he or she been? And like I said, if you have posts that are old that you now reshared, they're gonna be like, oh, she or he was at a wedding of 150 people. Oh, in Utah or whatever. And you're gonna be like, that Brooke, that was a year ago. They're gonna use that to try to delay your claim. Make everything private. Guys, again, make everything private. You go out to dinner at a restaurant, they're gonna be like, well, how do we know she didn't catch it at the restaurant at dinner? I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. But these are the battles we're gonna have to face. We're gonna face them together, okay, guys? So thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, follow up with me, please. I know this is a hot topic right now. You can call 203-399-0000. You can email Brooke, B-R-O-O-K-E, at golflawgroup.net, not .com, .net. You can text us, 203-399-0000. We're here 24/7. We're here to help you guys. And again, anybody that's got any kind of COVID-19 case, exposure, whether you're a nurse, teacher, I don't care who you are, and you think you got it at work, you need to call me. We need to talk, because honestly, I don't say no to these cases unless there's something crazy. I don't say no to them. We take them in knowing that the chances of recovery may not be good, but we're doing a public service and at least giving these people representation. Okay, guys? Take it easy. Everybody, Bacon Sip is on Thursday at 6. I think we're making some kind of apple-y or pumpkin-y cookie or something like that. And stay tuned for more of my videos. And we have great swag coming. So on Thursday, we'll be showing you some. Thanks, guys. Take it easy. Thanks.